New at 6, Missouri residents have been heading to the polls all day to cast a ballot in today's general municipal election. KTVU's Ashley Hoke is at one of the polling locations in Adair County. She tells us more about some of the COVID-19 precautions put in place by local election authorities. Ashley.
Thanks, John. I'm here outside Church of the Nazarene, which is just one of a number of polling locations in Adair County. Those that haven't voted yet still have a little bit of time left to do so. The polls will close in just under an hour. Now, when heading to the polls, you'll notice several precautions being taken amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Some of those extra precautions include hand sanitizer, social distancing guidelines, and clear protective shields installed at the table where you check in to pick up your ballot. When it comes to races in Adair County and Kirksville, voters are casting a ballot on Kirksville R3 School Board, Kirksville City Council, Adair County Health Department Board of Trustees, and the proposed quarter-cent sales tax for courthouse improvements. The polls will close at 7 o'clock, so if you haven't come to vote yet, you still have a little bit of time left to do so. Of course, you can stay with KTVO throughout the evening for all of your election results. John, back to you in the studio.
All right, Ashley, thanks for that report tonight. And next at 6, with concerns over election fraud, we decided to reach out to those who count the votes and see how the process works locally. KTVO's Kayla McGee sat down with Adair County Clerk Sandy Collop today and has more on that.
It's been a long year for these ladies in the office counting ballots for the past couple of elections, with them being the last line of defense to make sure your votes are accurate. The count starts at the polls themselves, with machines at the polls counting the votes.
Ballots are put into the machine. Everything is electronically recorded on a card, and that is a memory card that is brought back to the courthouse, and we verify that along with the paper tape that is printed off after the polls are closed, and we get the results.
But what happens if there is a power surge that shuts off the machines, like what happened in Nomager this morning? The polls have a backup plan to make sure your vote still counts.
Let's say we have a power outage within this area and we want to continue voting, and that's the protocol, is to put the ballot in the ballot machine. So nothing was, the integrity of the election was not at all compromised. We were just following protocol.
Lastly, after receiving the paper and electronic votes, a bipartisan team compares the results and makes sure that both numbers match up.
A team of Republicans and a team of Democrats, and they're the ones who review the paper tapes. They have to match the cards that come out of the machines, and once those are reconciled, then that is the result for that particular precinct.
Reporting for KTVO News, I'm Kayla McGee.
Voters who did not participate in the 2020 general election need to be on the lookout for a mailer from the Iowa Secretary of State's office. Secretary of State Paul Pate wants all Iowans to know the so-called no activity mailer is required by state and federal law. It's to update voter registration information, including your current residential address. Pate says the process ensures elections are clean and fair across the state. Iowans who receive a notice like the one shown here should fill it out and send it back right away. No postage is required.